Good morning, students. Hope all of you are keeping fine at home. The last class, we have just started off with the poem, The Spider and the Fly. And that is going to be the last poem for this academic year. So this time we had only just 4 poems, and this is the 4th one what we are going to study. So in the poem, The Spider and the Fly, so far, what did we see? Or we can say the main gist or the main content what I have said was about being careful or being cautious about the people who are flattering. The flattery, a moral fable. So what we have said is a story or a fable that conveys a moral lesson. That is what we are going to study, or that is what we have already started off with. A lesson that is teaching you to be very careful about the people who are always flattering you. That cannot be trusted. Those people cannot be trusted. So we see in this poem, or rather we have seen so far, the spider tries a lot of ways to attract the fly into the spiral web. Now we need not always consider, I think I have already mentioned that we need not consider always that fly and the spider here. That is actually a problem faced by all of us. The problem of trapping others, using the flattery methods to get what all things we want to achieve. In order to achieve something, maybe what is called a legal one or illegal one, we go on watching all these things, or we have done all this flattering. So we said different methods the spider uses. Will you walk into my parlor? Will you walk into my parlor? And the first line itself, the meaning says that indicate a false offer of help or what is called friendship in order to achieve something falsely. So here we saw the spider used so many things. What is inviting him to enter the parlor? The staircase is very good. The parlor is very good. Then winding stairs. I have pretty things. And we see the fly is well aware about all the dangers which are hidden there. And he says, and I also know that whoever has gone up the winding stairs can never come down again. That is important thing, that the fly, in spite of the fact that he is well aware of the fact what is going to happen there, still how the fly can be trapped there. Then he uses what is called, you are very weary, having shown the concern there, concern for you, showing that I am literally interested in your well-being. Why the hell is he so much concerned about your health? You are so tired. Come on, my dear. You need a rest. If you need a rest, you know well. Then it goes on describing all those things. We have seen that conversation, the what is called interaction between the spider and the fly. We have seen. Very important thing. We have to see how the interaction takes place. What are the different type of conversation they use it. And finally, we stopped with saying, "Sweet creature," said the spider, "you are witty and you are wise." You are witty and you are wise. How handsome are your gauzy wings? How brilliant are your eyes? So what we are seeing is that in this context, the fighter realizes that with the what is called asking about all what he has got, it's of no use. It's of no use to speak about all what he has got. So therefore he changes his tactic and moves on to what is called flattering methods. So there he says, calling the spider as sweet, witty and wise. You are sweet, witty and you are wise. He appreciated her beautiful wings and brilliant eyes. Beautiful wings and brilliant eyes. I have a little looking glass upon my parlor shelf. If you will step in one moment, dear, you shall behold yourself. So he says, I have got a looking glass in my parlor. You just have a look in that mirror. How beautiful you will be. So you have to realize your worth. You have to see, only if you look into the mirror that is in my parlor, you will realize how beautiful you are. So that is the flattery method, the spider has used. Just he used only one flattery there. The fly is already fluttered there. I thank you, gentle sir, she said. So far, she had been speaking. I know what the dangers are there in your room. I know people, those who have gone up the winding step, he has never come down. I know that whoever have slept on your bed have never woken up again. So many things. And I know what are things available in your pantry. And I am not interested in seeing that one. So much was the awareness of the fly. But the moment he said, you are beautiful, you are witty, you are intelligent, the fly was totally fluttered. I thank you, gentle sir, she said, for what you are pleased to say, and bidding you good morning now. Now I wish you good morning. Wishing you good morning. The previous class also I had told you about what is called wishing you good morning between. So bidding you good morning now. I will call another day. I will call on you another day. That means promising. I will come to your house one day. Today I am busy. So today I don't have the time to visit you. So assuring you that I will be visiting you another day. The fly goes away from there. And the spider is well aware that now he knows that he has already managed to trap the fly. The spider turned him round about and went into his den. Then we know what is that one. A wild animal's hidden home is called a den. So how he goes into the den. For well he knew the silly fly would soon be back again. So he knew, if I start once again appreciating all the good qualities, if I go on praising the fly, it would come back again. And naturally, within no time, he would be able to trap the fly or attract the fly into the spider web. So he wove a subtle web. Subtle means what? What does it mean by subtle? Not noticeable easily. That is what we call it as subtle. Something that we cannot see it very easily. Subtle web. In a little corner, sly means secret. Sly and set his table ready to dine upon the fly and set. Now everything is perfectly arranged. There will be no problem. If the fly once enter into the web, that will be the final. Almost like what we call it as it will be his Waterloo. You might have heard what is called the word, how the phrase is being used. It is his Waterloo. That will be his final entry or whatever be the final attack. I hope you know what is meant by the incident, what is called Waterloo and all, Napoleon, where he was totally defeated. That was the end of Napoleon. In the same way, that will be your end. It will be the Waterloo for the fly there. And set his table ready to dine upon the fly. Then he came out to his door again, and merrily did sing, come hither, pretty fly, with the pearl and silver wing. Your robes are green and purple, there is a crest upon your head. Your eyes are like the diamonds bright, but mine are dull as lead. So he just praising, come hither, come to this place, oh beautiful pretty fly, come this way, my beautiful pretty fly, with a pearl and silver wing, the wings that shows the pearl color and the silver wings. Your robes are green and purple, grand purple color of the fly, that is describing the color of that one. Your robes are green and purple, there is a crest upon your head. And you see a decorative thing, feather what is kept there, decoration that is kept there on the head. Your eyes are like the diamond bright, describing the eyes. It is like diamond bright, but mine are dull as lead. But my case, you see, mine is just a dull thing. You are so beautiful, so nice. So everything typically meant for attracting the fly there. We know that there is nothing special there, but the usage of words in order to flatter the fly. because the spider realized that the only way to attract the fly was to appreciate, flatter whatever it is there. Alas, alas, how very soon the silly little fly, hearing his willy flattering words, came slowly flitting by. So flitting by, moving from one place to another quickly, just jumping, maybe feeling a bit shy because he had been flattered so far. So jumping from one side to the other, moving from one place to another quickly, the fly comes to there to see the spider's web, hearing his willy flattering words, willy carefully, a very clever, a very tricky words, willy flattering words came slowly flitting by. With buzzing wings, she hung aloft in the air, hanging in the air. Then nearer and nearer drew, thinking only of her brilliant eyes. Thinking only of her brilliant eyes and green and purple hue, thinking only of her crested head. So if you notice here the usage also, you will see what is called thinking only of her brilliant eyes. That is what is called a figure of speech, which I'll say what type of figure of speech it is used here. That is called anaphora. It is a stylistic device that consists of repeating a sequence of words at the beginning of a neighboring clause to give them emphasis. So repeating something, just give some stress for that one. How handsome are your gauzy wings, how brilliant. See, same word, the how handsome, how brilliant. Thinking only of her brilliant eyes and green and purple hue, thinking only of her crested head. So that is the technique used there. That we call it as anaphora. So here he uses that, thinking only of her brilliant eyes and green and purple hue, thinking only of her crested head. Poor foolish thing, at last up jumped the cunning spider and fiercely held her fast. So jumping from one side to another. So jumped up the cunning spider and fiercely held her fast. He dragged her up his winding stairs into the dismal den. So we know that the moment it got stuck into the, or rather it entered into the spider's web, jumped the cunning spider, he jumped onto the fly. The cunning spider, now the word is used, jumped the cunning spider, fiercely held her fast. Fiercely, cruelly caught hold of the fly. He dragged her up his winding stairs, now dragging, not moving or anything, now dragged him up into the winding stairs into his dismal den. Dismal den, causing gloom or depression. A dismal condition, very gloomy things, something which is not so happy or pleasant, unpleasant thing what is happening there. Within his little parlor, but she is never came out again. So it was taken to the den within his little parlor, but she never came out again. As the fly knew very well, anyone who goes into the parlor would never return, and that was the fate. Even though the fly knew very well that if whoever goes there, whoever goes to his parlor would never come back, but listening to his flattering words, the bird just was flattered, or the fly was just flattered and could not resist his power. So he went inside, and the fate we know. And now, dear little children, who may this story read to idle, silly, flattering words, I pray you, never give heed. This is very important. Now, whoever may be little children, dear little children, who may read this story, to idle, silly, flattering words, I pray you never give heed. I pray you, I pray thee, I request you, please never give heed to any of this kind of flattering thing. Flattering people, please be very careful. Whoever flatters you, they are never interested in your what is called improvement or any of those things. Flattering generally comes in order to get some favor from you. So flattering, that is the methods. So unto an evil counselor close heart and ear and eye, and take a lesson from this tale of the spider and the fly. Unto an evil counselor, a counselor who gives wrong advice. Now, in the previous class, in one of the classes when I was addressing or the starting of this poem, I said about the poem, The Frog and the Nightingale. The frog automatically by his own decides or he would become the counselor or the tutor for the nightingale. You have to see a frog, how it becomes a tutor for a nightingale. So that is what actually he says. Unto an evil counselor, unless and until you know a person very well, don't give heed to those people. As we say, be careful or beware of the strangers, those who come and meet you. That is something which you need to keep in mind. Unto an evil counselor, close heart and ear and eyes. Close your heart, ear and eyes. Never pay heed to any of those strangers. And take a lesson from this tale of the spider and the fly. Learn a lesson from this one. Learn a lesson from this lesson or the poem, Spider and the Fly. And make sure that we never get trapped by this kind of people, whoever comes and flatters you in order to get some gain. Even for example, what I said that frog and the nightingale, we see at the end, we see what is the result is that such a beautiful singer, that bird, a bird with such a beautiful voice was there. Finally we see because of the training, the bird dies at the end. The training that was given by the frog, we know that the frog kills the birds. Okay, I think it is quite clear to you. So beware and be honest and be judicious whenever we are making a decision. So don't just blindly give heed to others. Have a nice day.